Hello everyone, welcome to the other 167. My name is Jose Benjamin and my topic for today is God has an appointment with you. Can you imagine the God of the universe, the one who created the heavens and the earth, has fixed an appointment to meet you? Yes, that's true. He makes way and he makes it very intentional to meet you in your own situation. No matter what you are doing, where you are, in what situation you are in, He comes down, He humbles Himself to meet each one of you because He loves you. The passage that we will meditate today on is John chapter 4, where we see that Jesus made an intentional plan to meet the Samaritan woman. And he goes to the place, Samaria, where usually Jews don't go. He breaks all the tradition just to meet one lady. Let's look into that passage. John chapter 4, verse 3 onwards. He left Judea and departed again to Galilee. So if you look at the map of Israel, Judea is at the south and Galilee is on the north. And Jesus left Judea to go to Galilee, and verse 4 says, but he needed to go through Samaria. That's a very important verse. He needed to go through Samaria. So when Jesus left Judea to go to Galilee, he could have taken the traditional path which all the other Jews used to take. Jews had nothing to do with Samaritans. Jews did not have any association with the people of Samaria. For them to go to Galilee, they used to take a long cut. But Jesus intentionally went through Samaria. He broke the tradition of the Jews. Why did he do that? Just to meet that one lady. So he came to the city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near the plot of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. So when Jesus came next to that well, in verse 7, it says, a woman of Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, give me a drink. Now we are going to see here the progression in the conversation between Jesus and the Samaritan woman. How does the interaction, the conversation progress from one level to another? When Jesus asked this Samaritan woman for a drink, the Samaritan woman in turn told Jesus in verse 9, how is it that you, being a Jew, ask a drink from me, a Samaritan woman? For Jews have no dealings with Samaritans. So, when the Samaritan woman is asking Jesus, how is it that you, being a Jew, is asking a Samaritan woman for a drink, because you, Jews, do not have any dealings with Samaritans? When she said that, my question is, how did she come to know that this person who is asking for a drink is a Jew? So if I apply logic, probably through his dress code, okay, she recognized that he is a Jew. The first point that we learn is, people are watching you. People are watching the way you speak, what you wear, and through your lifestyle, people can recognize that you are a Christian, who you are. So when Jesus asked the Samaritan woman for a drink, she recognized he is a Jew. He did not introduce to her that I am Jesus. He did not tell her that I am a Jew. How is it you, being a Jew, ask a Samaritan woman for a drink? She asked. Jesus answered and said to her, if you knew the gift of God and who it is who says to you, give me a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water. This is the reply Jesus gave to the Samaritan woman. And in turn, she tells him, Sir, you have nothing to draw with and the well is deep. Where then do you get that living water? She is expressing a curiosity. Okay. Now, if you noticed here, the first time she mentions to Jesus, as she calls him as a Jew in verse 9. But with one reply of Jesus, in verse 11, she calls him Sir. So from a Jew to Sir. That's the progression that I want you to notice. When we talk to people, when we interact with people, wherever we are, at our workplace, where we stay, where we go, when we interact with people, there has to be a progression. The impression which people carry, the first time when they met us, from the second time, what we talk, the way we deal with them, their impression about us should progress. They do not know Christ, but they know us. Let them see Christ in us. From Jew to Sir. And then as the conversation builds up, I don't want to go deep into those conversations, but as the conversation builds up, when Jesus starts revealing more things in her life, what does she tell him? In verse 19, the woman said to him, Sir, again, Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. So when Jesus continues his conversation with her and reveals more things of her life, she perceives that he could be a prophet. So from a Jew, a normal Jew, to Sir, and now she thinks that he's a prophet. You see how the conversation builds up? And then in verse 25, the woman said to him, I know that Messiah is coming. And then she is excited as she goes to the city and tells all the men in the city in verse 29, come see a man who told me all things that I ever did. Could this be the Christ? The important point that we draw from here is, in the conversation, in that short period of a conversation between Jesus and the Samaritan woman, he leaves an impression on her. She initially thought he's a Jew, and then he calls him Sir. And then she thinks he's a prophet, and now she seriously doubts that could this be the Messiah? And she's so excited that she calls all the men in the city to come and meet him. Could this be the Messiah whom we are waiting for? When we speak to people, do they come to know the Christ in us? Initially, when they start the conversation with us, probably they may think that we are just normal people. Okay? And as we progress in our relationship with our fellow colleagues in the office or where we stay, when we interact in the marketplace, do they consider, do they think, do they ponder that he is not or she is not a normal person? Probably he's a Christian. Is Christ glorified in us? Do they come to know the Christ as we progress in the conversation with people? That's the thought that I want to leave you with. God has an appointment with you. God has an appointment with people through you. So let Christ be presented. May we decrease, as John the Baptist said, and may he increase. And with this thought, let me close today's devotion, and let us seek God, because He comes down to us, He humbles Himself and fixes an appointment with us, as He did with the Samaritan woman. Jesus could have easily followed the tradition of the Jews and gone through the other way, the traditional way, to Galilee, but He needed to go through Samaria. He broke the tradition. Okay, God comes down to meet you. Let us come closer to God, as James say in chapter 4 verse 4. Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. God loves you. May God bless us with this word. Thank you. Bye.